The Super Bowl is by far the biggest game in football. For any pro footballer lucky enough to make it to this stage, it can be a life-changing 2 hours. Of course, the highest highs come with the lowest lows. That's why we've decided to break down the biggest mistakes in Super Bowl history. Number 10. Hank Baskett and the onside kick. As the second half of Super Bowl 44 got underway, New Orleans coach Sean Payton decided to take a gutsy chance and call for an onside kick. The strategy looked like it was going to backfire as Hank, Mr. Kendra Baskett, was in perfect position to recover the kick for the Colts. But he bobbled the ball and Chris Rice recovered for the Saints. New Orleans got the ball, the momentum, and eventually their first Super Bowl title. Number 9. An MVP Super Bowl to forget. The Raiders had a good chance of winning Super Bowl 37, considering they had the league's MVP at quarterback in Rich Gannon and one of the best offenses in the NFL. But the Buccaneers had a major trump card: the Raiders' old coach. John Gruden was able to teach the Bucs the Raiders' unchanged hand signals and offense. And what occurred was one of the worst performances by a quarterback in Super Bowl history. Gannon threw a record 5 picks. 3 of them returned for touchdowns, and the Raiders were dismantled 48-21. Oakland hasn't had a winning record since. The loss was so bad, some NFL officials thought the game must have been rigged on purpose as part of a gambling scheme. Rich Gannon wishes that was the case. Turns out, he just had an embarrassingly awful game. Number 8. Willie Brown's gallop to glory. Fran Tarkenton had appeared in 2 previous Super Bowls before Super Bowl 11, but neither one had resulted in a victory. His final appearance in Super Bowl 11 didn't fare so well either, but Tarkenton was still trying to lead the Vikings back, down 26-7 in the fourth quarter. That's before he threw a pass that Raiders cornerback Willie Brown stepped in front and took off for a 75-yard touchdown. Brown's interception was the longest in NFL history, before James Harrison's 100-yard return in Super Bowl 43. And the slow-motion close-up footage of Brown running towards the end zone became prolific. That slow-motion footage of Brown became so famous it would play everywhere Fran looked for months. It's one thing to mess up, it's another for almost the entire country to cheer about it. Number 7. The Phantom Holding Call. Super Bowl 40 might be most remembered for Jerome Bettis and Bill Cowher finally winning a ring. But in the Pacific Northwest, it'll always be remembered for the officiating. The Seahawks were the victims of a questionable pass interference call that wiped out what would have been the first touchdown of the game and gave Ben Roethlisberger a touchdown when it looked like he was short. But the Seahawks were still in the game in the second half. Matt Hasselbeck thought he completed a pass to Jeremy Stevens that brought the Seahawks down to the Pittsburgh 1-yard line with a chance to score a go-ahead touchdown. But instead, the play was called back on a holding call referee Bill Lever later said he missed on Sean Locklear. One play later, Hasselbeck was intercepted and the Seahawks' title hopes went down with it. Number 6. The failed rocket screen. Joe Gibbs had a trick play he ran with the Redskins called the rocket screen, which was a screen pass from Joe Theismann to running back Joe Washington. The Redskins had run the play against the Raiders earlier in the season, and it had worked. So with the Redskins pinned back at their own 12 late in the first half of Super Bowl 18, Gibbs called the rocket screen. According to a story in the Los Angeles Times, the Raiders thought the play might be called, so John Madden replaced Matt Millen with Jack Squirk to cover Washington. And when the play came, Squirk stepped in front of the pass and walked into the end zone. He strolled into the end zone and the Raiders strolled to a championship. Number 5. The pick Asante didn't catch. Asante Samuel is one of the better ball-hawking and route-jumping corners in the game today, but the one he might be remembered for is the interception he didn't make. Late in Super Bowl 43, the Patriots were trying to finish off the 19-0 season against the Giants. During the final drive on a second down, Eli Manning threw a quick route to David Tyree on the sideline, and Samuel jumped the route and had an easy game-clinching interception, but it bounced off his hands and fell incomplete. It wouldn't have mattered much if Manning didn't find Tyree on the next play in one of the most famous catches in Super Bowl history, setting up the game-winning score and sealing one of the biggest upsets in sports history. Number 4. Garrows gaffe. Garrow Yepremian was the kicker for the 1972 Dolphins in Super Bowl 7, trying to secure the Dolphins' Super Bowl win with Miami up 14-0. Unfortunately for him, the kick was blocked. But compounding the problem, Yepremian tried to throw the ball. What ensued was something resembling a pass, but was more like a serve, that landed in the hands of Washington's Mike Bass, who took it all the way for a touchdown. Washington cut the lead to 14-7, but Miami held on to preserve the win and the undefeated season. Ironically, if Yepremian made the kick, the score would have been 17-0. Number 3. Who else but Leon Lett? Do you really think we would go through this list and not come across everyone's favorite defensive lineman from the Dallas Cowboys? This time, Let had pounced on a fumble and started to run down the field and was on his way to an easy touchdown. Thinking as such, he held the ball out and slowed down as he neared the goal line. Little did he know, Buffalo's Don Beebe was racing down the field trying to catch him. Well, Beebe did catch him before he made it to the end zone, and was able to knock the ball out of his hands and out of the end zone for a touchback. It didn't cost the Cowboys in Super Bowl 27, but it's one of the more infamous moments in sports history. Leon Lett certainly wasn't going to live this one down, and sadly, this moment has become a pretty big mark on his entire football career. Number 2. Bless his heart, he's gotta be the sickest man in America. Many football fans have heard that line somewhere along the way. It's definitely one we've heard echo throughout football history. It all goes back to Jackie Smith. Smith had a 15-year career in the NFL, but he'll always be remembered for the biggest drop pass in Super Bowl history. It was the third quarter of Super Bowl 13, one of the great Cowboys-Steelers Super Bowls. The Cowboys were driving in the third quarter, down 21-14, when Roger Staubach found Smith wide open in the end zone. And when we say wide open, we mean a massive hole wide open. It was a perfect play for the Cowboys. Perfect, except for the ending. Smith dropped the pass and the Cowboys settled for a field goal. Pittsburgh ended up winning the game 35-31, and Smith's drop became one of the signature moments of Super Bowl history. It also led to one of the most memorable calls in NFL history by the legendary Vern Lundquist. Bless his heart, he's gotta be the sickest man in America. Smith will definitely hear that call coming back to him in his nightmares. This moment in and of itself has gone down as one of the most famous Super Bowl moments in the history of the NFL. It's in moments like these where fans can truly appreciate the greatness of the game, how the course of a player's career and reputation can change in an instant. Of course, we'll just chalk it up to Butterfingers. Number 1. Scott Norwood. Scott Norwood. That's really all you have to say, at least in Buffalo. Everyone's heard of it by now. Super Bowl 25, time running out, Giants leading the Bills 2019. Norwood lining up for a 47-yard field goal. Marv Levy would tell Sports Illustrated later that less than 50% of those field goals were made. And we also knew that 47 yards was the end of Norwood's range on grass. Either way, we all know the ending. The ball sails wide right, the Giants win. The Bills lose this and 3 consecutive Super Bowls afterwards and never get closer than that kick. In fact, this kick has become so infamous it's got its own nickname. In Buffalo, and for diehard Bills fans elsewhere, they refer to the tragic incident simply as 47 wide right. This is just one of those moments that the sports town like Buffalo does not forget. It has since become the mantra when the Bills failed to make it to the Super Bowl year after year. Some would even say that kick cursed them. But let us know which Super Bowl blunder would have made your list in the comments section. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any brand new videos. This has been our breakdown of the biggest mistakes in Super Bowl history. See you next time.